Zach Meslani now making his way to the stage. Meslani in the black and white. Expect fireworks, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. It's Zach from 10th Planet Bethlehem.
10th Planet Bethlehem.
Veritable dream team of killers.
Him and JM
Yes, sir.
holding down the fort at 10th Planet Bethlehem.
Great technique. He's
a beast. He's a savage.
excellent coaches, I have to say. Great guys, JM and Zach.
It's a beautiful.
Great guys, JM and Zach.
Veritable dream team of killers.
He's a beast. He's a savage.
It's Zach from 10th Planet Bethlehem.
10th Planet Bethlehem. It's 10th Planet Bethlehem. It's a bit.
Great technique. It's
10th Planet Bethlehem.
Boom. Looks like we are live. Even though we're actually not live, we're recording this. But I'm here for Zach's Corner Podcast. Big episode, volume 50. So it's 50 podcasts. Holy shit, can't believe I got to it. And I got special guests here, Sid, and actually I always say Tavolaro, but how do you say your last name?
It's Tavolaro.
Tavolaro? Oh, nice. Okay, yeah, that makes more sense if you spell it out. But no one ever spells my name or says my name right. Like tonight, on this won't come out by tonight, but on Facebook Live today, I'm supposed to be on Fight Atlantic podcast, and they spelled my name wrong on the thing. So it's whatever. I'm not going to hold it against those guys, but can you hear me all right? Is everything cool?
Yeah, everything's good.
All right, nice. Because I got this on my Rode mic thing. I got this new mic here, and then I've got the headphones on that I got from Ross, so I'm slowly working my way in. But those of you guys who don't know Sid, he's got the Mini Goons background. He's the top Mini Goon. How old are you now? And where did you – well, we'll actually get to that. But how old are you now? You're 15, right, or 14?
15.
15, that's what I thought. Okay. It's crazy because – I look at Grace, like I've seen a bunch of old pictures of you, and I look at Grace, and I always think of you guys as being like, I'm like, oh, Sid, he's still 9, and Grace is 12, but Grace is actually going to be 18 actually any day now, I'm pretty sure, which is crazy to me. And then you guys, and then even seeing those pictures of Lucian and Ari and stuff, it's so crazy. Like, how long have you been training at our school now?
It's close to 4 years.
4 years? Nice. That's awesome. 4 years? Holy shit. Time flies. So 4 years. And then you also, a lot of people don't know this, a lot of people do know about Grace, and because I talk about her all the time, but a lot of people don't know. A lot of our guys have previous martial arts training, like maybe not just like specific jiu-jitsu, no gi, like how we do, or gi, but a lot of guys trained at either MMA schools or boxing place, or used to kickboxing before. But you trained martial arts before you started with us, right?
Yeah, I did karate, action karate, from when I was 5 until I was 9, so 4 years. And then I did like a Muay Thai type thing from when I was 9 up until I was 11, almost 12, and that's when I started with you guys. Oh, nice. Awesome, man. And you got your black belt technically before that, right? Yeah, I got it in both. Nice. That's sick. Yeah, like Grace, she got her black belt, and then I know a lot of other kids that started. Like I have some parents that hit me up, and they're not ready to put their kids in jiu-jitsu yet for some reason, or they think they're not ready. So what they end up doing is they end up putting their kids in like a karate school first, and they let them train for a couple years, and then, or they just start at a karate school, then eventually are like, oh man, like I want to get my kid directly, more into a specific type of thing. And some guys that wrestled in high school, they do no gi, it's technically like no gi grappling. Like they're more likely to put their kid in once they find out about our place, like a no gi place, and you got a younger brother, Rafer. How old is he? He's 9, almost 10. Dang, yeah, Rafer's a beast too. It's crazy. It's always funny to see the siblings of the big dogs at the school and all the little guys out there running. Rafer's a beast. He competes, and did he train? He trained martial arts before too, a little bit, right? Did he do it? He did karate for a little bit before he started with you guys. Nice. Yeah, and then once he started jiu-jitsu, though, he's a beast. He don't like tapping. And one of the guys said to me the other day, like, I didn't know Sid had a brother. I'm like, yeah, Rafer's running around. And they're like, yeah, every time I see him, he's got someone in a mounted triangle just sitting on him. I'm like, yeah, that's him. But yeah, man, Sid trains at the school. Obviously, he's a blue belt now, and you help with the kids class a lot. And the kids class, it sucks right now because of the lockdown. We can't really have kids class, and even then we're sneaking in and illegally having classes. We can't do kids because
it's it's a bad look, and I don't want any, it's a liability too having the kids in. But man, when we were at normal, it was crazy. Every day training with the kids, and Monday, Wednesday, Friday was advanced class, and man, we had a ton of kids coming in. I don't know. What do you think about it? I know I got you in there, like you started working for the school, but you're definitely a great teacher and helper for the kids too. But what do you think? Like, just give me some thoughts on kids class? Pretty crazy.
Kids classes are a lot of fun. I love teaching. It's so much fun to see, like when you show the kids the moves and then they go hit it on somebody, whether it's when they're rolling or competing, it feels good. You know what I mean? Like you can be like, I taught that kid that move, and it's so much fun to do that. I love working with the kids.
Yeah, it's pretty wild to see that. And we're like, me and you and Lucian, and then we have Grace in there now, and we have a pretty cool dynamic. And then JM, he was doing the 4 o'clock, the little kids class, and then I was doing the 5 o'clock older kids class, the more advanced. But we just called advanced because most of the kids were older, or they were younger kids like that could hack it, like your brother or some of the other kids. But man, how about Stella and Lois? How crazy are they? How cool are they? Right?
Yeah, they're killing it. Like watching them like roll and compete. Like Rafer and Stella go at it so much.
Oh,
they're probably my favorite
so fun
kids
to
watch because they go so hard with each other, and they're such a good role for each other. And I feel like they get a lot better rolling with each other. Like,
oh yeah, sure. And they're it's so funny to watch. Because usually your mom's there when they're rolling, and their dad David's there. And it's so funny. He's like into it because sometimes I get nervous. Like I know wrestling practice and some training things for kids a lot more hardcore than our class. But we have a different way of doing it. We make the kids do push-ups, but it's not like a drill sergeant type thing. Like we're more like, hey, whoever wants to get good here, even though they're kids, we treat them like adults. Like here are the moves, and if you want to get good, this is what you're going to do. And we have some kids that they mess around more than others. But man, we have some really good kids, and not even, you could talk about, Bam Bam, who obviously is, traveling around crushing people, training with him. You could talk about, Ty, and you could talk about some of the kids that are just, go out and murder competitions. But we also have a lot of kids that don't really compete that much that are just good. Like they were about to compete, though it stinks. Because how many kids do you think we would have had compete at that one in May? Probably like 1 million.
Yeah, we would have had a bunch of kids because it was right in Allentown, so we could have just grabbed the whole squad and everybody would have been over there.
Actually, wasn't that this weekend?
I think it was. It was supposed to be, I think, May 9th or something like that.
Well, at least we got to watch a UFC, but that stinks. Yeah, because I know Stella and Lois were going. I know Levi competed last time, did really well. I know Rafer obviously was going to be there, and I know Chloe was going. How about Chloe? She's really good too.
She is really good.
Oh, and Maya. How about Maya? Like Maya's another kid that like started training with us, and then all of a sudden she just came out of nowhere and was just really good. Like she was always good in the beginning, but then all of a sudden something just clicked with her, and she started to like it a lot. And then next she was out there just what's her best position?
Mount, dude.
Mount.
It's everybody from that. No one escapes that.
Oh man, if Maya gets mount, it's going to be a problem. One thing I want to work on her too when we come back is going from mount and just taking the back, because some kids are hard to finish from mount. So, taking the back on her would be a really, for her would be a really good thing. So, I'm trying to think. What about some of the other kids? I know Henry's been killing it. There've been a lot of kids, that we've been getting. And a lot of the parents, I know they want their kids to come back just for their mental health because they're probably going nuts just being at home. With nothing to do. Like Gio, I know I was talking to him. I saw we've been doing the Zoom calls every Thursday. And what did we watch this Thursday? What was this one?
We watched, I think, part of Matt's video that he did on Whistle Sports.
Yeah. And
then I think we watched a couple matches.
Yeah, we watched Matt's thing. We've been doing a Zoom call every Thursday with the kids at 3 p.m. And it's kind of tough. I don't know how a lot of instructors are teaching kids through online. Like I see Tiger Schulman's got some kids that are doing like, punching and stuff like that. But I don't know. I think it's really hard, especially the way we teach at our school, to just have people do things. Like if you want to do workouts on your own at home, like by all means, you guys can do that. But for me and Sid and for us to really teach the kids, it's kind of dangerous doing it at home. The mat's not there, and I don't want the kids fighting and stuff either. And we could, like you were talking about, helping the parents. You could do stuff like that. But I know a lot of kids are going nuts to just just want to come back, you know?
Right.
So, what I know we did, we watched Matt's thing the week before. We watched the Jocko Willink thing, so that was cool. I just like checking in with them because they missed class and they want to see. We haven't done the Zoom call with the adults, but a lot of the adults have been going on Finishers TV and checking stuff up out on there. So that being said, go check out Finishers MMA.tv. It's free if you want to check that piece out. But what else, man? We had more stuff coming up. I know Grace was, and you guys, a lot of guys don't know this too, but Grace has some main training partners. Obviously, I'm one of them. JM trains the worlds with Grace all the time. Preet, the world's most famous blue belt, he's always training with Grace. And Sid is you're one of Grace's main training partners. You know, talk about that. What's it like to be rolling with Grace all the time? I mean, I know I'll do, but I want to hear from you.
It's interesting rolling with Grace because she doesn't do jujitsu like normal people would. You know what I mean? Like, she's in there so much that she knows what you're gonna do before you do it, and everything that you do, she's got a response to it, and it's crazy. She's just so good. You can't really do much to her. Like, you'll get her in a position, you'll be like, I'm this close to tapping her, and then she'll just sneak right out, and you're like, oh, I can't do anything. Like,
yeah, she's so tough to tap. You know, every now and then I feel like she'll let me get her. But for the most part, though, like, her back control is like, she does such weird stuff in back control. But, you know, I learn a lot just rolling with her all the time. I don't get to, one thing that's cool for you guys is you guys get to drill with her all the time. And she's like a robot. She doesn't want to say shit. Like, she'll talk a little bit. I know I see her talk to you, and she talks to Preet, and she'll talk to some of the people. She doesn't know you. She ain't going to say shit. But I do see her talking to you guys all the time, and it's cool because, usually she's just like a robot, just drilling moves over and over and over again, and that's what's cool to train with her. Like, when I go to a seminar, I always try to grab her. Or when I go to 10P, like the HQ out there, I always try to grab Grace because she just knows. It's almost like she knows even when I'm drilling the moves. Like most people, like this is the other thing I was going to say. I use you and Grace most of the time as the uke, right? Well, I guess that's what people call it. I guess that's like your training partner, but I always say my grappling dummy, whoever's my grappling dummy, because I'm that for a lot of people. Like, when Eddie comes to our school, he uses me a lot. And when he did the New York seminar, he used me there too. And just because he knows that I know the moves and I know the system, so I'm not going to make him look shitty when he's out there. And that's what you and Grace really helped me out, because you guys make me look so good. Plus, what do you weigh, like 130 something now? I'm
close to 145.
Damn! So I only outweigh you by like 10 pounds now, because I'm like near 55, so maybe even less. But that's perfect. Same thing. Grace is like 120 something, probably. Right now, maybe like 119, 120. So it's like the way, and you guys know all the moves because you're always there drilling with me and you're always there doing the moves. So it's so easy to just go back and forth with you guys. Like, hey, and most of the time, I don't have to tell you, Grace. Like, if I was going to do moves with, like, I don't know, Quinn, for instance, I'd be like, hey, Quinn, like, I'm going to do this, this, and this just to let you know. Or if I was going to do moves with Andrew, or even, most of the guys I would tell them what I'm doing first, just because, I want them to understand, like, what I'm trying to get across. Sometimes you need the person to resist 100%, but sometimes you don't. But it's so easy. Like, I could go to a seminar, with Grace and just be like, I don't have to say anything. And you too. I don't have to say to you guys, like, hey, we're going to work on this. Most of the time, I'll just go out there and do it, and then we figure out the positions. Like, imagine me yelling at someone, no, quarter Z. No, quarter Z. No, not regular Z. Quarter Z. Stuff like that gets you, but you guys know all that stuff, which is really cool. Like, you like in school, or when you're doing school stuff, have you felt that you remember things well, or is it just because it's physical?
Like, with my schoolwork, I feel like it's kind of different from jiu-jitsu, because with the schoolwork, the way I am able to learn and remember stuff is just like I read it on the screen, and then I'll like take the notes, so I'll write it all down, and then that's how I remember it. Because when I'm thinking about writing it, it's in my head. But like with the jiu-jitsu and just knowing the moves, I think it's just been just like repetition and doing it so many times over and over. Like, when we do the warm-ups, I feel like I got those down pretty good, just because we do those most days out of the week. And then it's just the repetition.
Yeah, I think the repetition's huge, and you're there all the time. Like, how many times you think? Most of the time, you usually didn't train Sundays, every now and then, but most of the time you were there probably 6 times a week at least,
Yeah,
right?
I try to train 5-6 times a week. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyone who does that, like for instance, another guy, Jimbo. Jimbo is like what 19 years old or something like that. So when he first started, like his first thing, or first couple months, he might not have got that good because he was just getting his body right. So he lost. Got a lot of guys know Jimbo at school, lost a lot of weight. And now he looks great. And now he's starting to, since he's been training so much and coming all the time and maybe not going 100% rolling, but he's always drilling. So in that case, he's starting to learn. Like when I'm rolling with him now, I'm starting to see, okay, he knows all the moves. Whereas that, like a guy trains once a week, twice a week, that I'm still going to be able to trick him a million different ways. Like you guys are getting tough because now it's so hard for me to like trick you. Before it was easy because you didn't know any of the moves I know. It's just like, or I can't do jack to him now because he knows everything. Not only would he muscle out of arm bars and stuff before because he's so strong, but now that he knows all the techniques, it's like, you roll with him too. What's it like rolling with Thor?
I like rolling with Jimbo. It's a lot of fun because we're close to the same size. Like he's probably got me by 5 or 10 pounds, maybe.
Yeah,
but it's a lot of fun because we drill together all the time. Like whenever we're in there, we'll roll once or twice every night. So it's a lot of fun rolling with him because it's like rolling with somebody that I'd end up competing against, and it's good to have somebody that's like that.
Yeah, that's good. It's fine. He's a blue belt too. He got it around the same time, a little bit before you, but he's older though, so you had to wait till you're 15. What about Thor? How's he rolling against Jonathan Blankenship?
Thor is like one of the toughest rolls because Thor's got me by, I don't know, 50, 60 pounds maybe. And he's
got to be like 200 something
stronger than I am, and he's a black belt, so it's like it's real tough. I can't do anything to him. Usually, it's just him passing my guard, and I'm trying to get it back, and he's just smashing me the whole time. But he's to roll with him too because he knows all the moves and stuff, and he'll show me stuff. It's a lot of fun rolling him too.
Yeah, he's been doing this new thing where he just crushes my legs together like a chest pass, and then I have zero butterfly guard for him. So. That's another thing that sucks. He just got back from the UK right before this coronavirus thing happened, so he was ready to start making some moves. I know he's might be jumping into Subversive match there, and I know Seth Daniels trying to get it back going. Us on the lowdown, we're trying to get the finishers tournament back up and running as soon as we're allowed to too. Maybe we can do an underground one, but we're looking into that. Big J was like, "Let me come down. I'll come down and do this whole thing. Like, I'll do it by myself or whatever." So we're definitely going to work on that. Definitely in the, if not, maybe the underground one. If not, after that, we'll definitely get you on the finishers card. So nice. That's what sucks about Fight to Win going down too, because all these things were coming up. I was getting so pumped, and then Grace was supposed to go against Danielle Kelly. So but it's for the best. In a couple of weeks, hopefully everything's back up to normal, and then we can get back to traveling and grinding and all that stuff. But you're also a big UFC fan too. UFC this Sunday. Let me bring up the card and let's break this piece down real quick. I've been trying to remember to do that on the podcast, is break the UFCs down. But so far we got this is UFC, I believe 249.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, 249. Let's get a card here. Fight card. All right, so obviously, now I've been watching some old, like ESPN. I've been bored, so I've been going on ESPN, and I watched some of the old Justin Gaethje fights. Dude, obviously, 10 Planet Black Belt, Tony Ferguson, I'm rooting for him, and I want to see him fight Khabib, but watching some of Tony's older fights and Gaethje's fights, geez, give me a prediction. I don't even know. Gaethje is tough as shit. He looks like anyways.
Yeah, Justin Gaethje knocks a lot of people out, but I think the way that the fight will probably go, I don't think Justin Gaethje's going to knock Tony Ferguson out. I don't think he can hit real hard, but I don't Tony's got such a good chin on him, and Tony's striking isn't bad. It's there. It's really good. His striking's amazing, but I think Tony Ferguson's got to get this fight to the ground if he wants to win this one. I don't think either of them are going to knock each other out. They've been through so many fights where they've just been in the pocket swinging. I don't think either of them are going to knock each other out.
Sometimes, though, the thing, I don't know what their training's like, and I know Gaethje and Tony being in tough fights, I agree. I don't think either of them are going to knock each other out, but you never know when the time coming around is it this fight? When is it going to be the fight where your chin is just gone. Like, no one knew that Chuck Liddell, like, no one thought that Rashad Evans was going to KO Chuck Liddell, And then after he got KO'd, then all of a sudden it was like I was watching some older fights too. Like, I missed so many fights because I didn't have ESPN, or I didn't have, I didn't watch every single fight, and some of the pay-per-views I missed, and you wouldn't go back and watch them, and Fight Pass sucks for uploading the videos. But now that I got ESPN uploads everything. So you go on the ESPN app, and like people are acting like they don't know how to get UFC. Just go to the ESPN app. It has all the older fights. Like Junior Dos Santos, I felt like he didn't even get hit hard by. I mean, I know Ngannou punches hard, but it's not like he hit him with a clear shot. I feel like some of those guys now, their chins are just falling apart. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen to either of these guys, and we see a crazy fight. But yeah, I think also too with Tony, his striking is kind of awkward and weird. But he does, like, if you look at everyone's face, he just lumps everybody up with, like, those elbows and stuff.
Yeah, he hits everyone with them elbows.
Yeah, it's crazy. He crushes people with elbows. So I want Ferguson to win. I could never pick, against him. So I know we both want Ferguson to win on that one. How about, what do you think about Cejudo and Cruz? I don't know about that one either. Cruz
and Dominic Cruz I think it's a toss-up because both of them are really good fighters. I think Dominic Cruz has an advantage on the feet. And Henry Cejudo definitely I think he has better wrestling than Dominic does. Yeah. But I don't think we're going to see a finish in this fight. I think we're going to go 5 rounds, and I think Dominic Cruz is going to take it. I think he's going to win the back.
He could definitely win it. If he dances around enough and he never gives Cejudo an angle, maybe he doesn't really get taken down that much. But, I mean, it's not like Dominic Cruz can't wrestle. He's still good. As it goes to the later rounds, maybe Cejudo gets a little tired. But I don't know. I haven't really watched many of Cejudo's fights, to be honest with you. That's another one I missed. I got to go back and rewatch those. But, okay, here we go. The two beasts, Ngannou and Rozenstruik. I mean, it could either be two guys swinging and it lasts a minute, or it could be 3 rounds of just staring at each other.
Yeah, I think either it's going to be they're going to knock one of them is going to knock the other out first or second round. Because this one could go either way. Both of them have crazy power. Like you saw Francis Ngannou knocked out Alistair Overeem with that crazy cut. And then Rozenstruik did the same thing to Alistair Overeem. He knocked him out. But I think either of them could knock each other out. But it's either going to be a knockout, or we're going to have another Francis Ngannou Derek Lewis fight where it's them circling around being afraid to hit each other for.
Oh, I'm going to pray that does not happen. But I mean. And too, I think it's going to be weird too. Like, I'm pretty sure, is it true there's no fans, right? There's just no fans?
I don't know what they're doing. I don't think there's going to be anybody there because they can't really pack an arena full of people and have the government be okay with it. So
this is in Cali, or no, Florida. Jacksonville, Florida. Yeah, Florida. You could actually, you could probably have a lion fight a person in Florida. They don't care. Let's see. We got Stevens, Calvin Kattar. That's going to be a barn burner.
Yeah.
And Jorgen De Castro. I don't know Jorgen De Castro, but
I don't know that guy.
Yeah, Greg Hardy. They're more than Greg Hardy. Don't have that many fights, so they're definitely newer guys. And then the main event on the preliminary card, Cerrone and Pettis. Dang, that's a cool fight. Even though those guys aren't title contention. I mean, didn't they fight before or no?
Yeah, I think they did before. I think I'm pretty sure Pettis knocked him out with a body kick. He just folded him.
That's right. You're right. Oh man, that's right. I mean, Cerrone, he don't give a shit. He's just trying to get paid. He might not be in the greatest shape. I don't know. Pettis, I know he always comes in shape, and he's still been looking good as of late. Cerrone, I love Donald Cerrone, but I feel bad for him. So, how about this one? I mean, dude, I didn't realize how packed this card is, bro.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to watch the whole thing, especially there's nothing else to do. Alexei Olenek and Verdum.
Wow, that's going to be a crazy one.
I didn't know Verdum was back from being on steroids, or allowed to come back from being on steroids. So
I didn't know either, but that's going to be a crazy one because both those guys are real good submission artists.
Yeah, they're going to be grafting. I hope Olenek actually taps him in some weird shit. But a lot of people think Verdum is the best, heavyweight of all time. So who knows? Let's see. Carla Esparza, Michelle Waterson. That's a good fight too.
That is a good fight. I think Michelle Waterson's probably gonna get that one because her striking is real good, and Carla Esparza's been doing all right lately, but she hasn't looked top of the level. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think like just being a wrestler, boxer is kind of like hard to do anymore. You know, and like her jiu-jitsu is not the greatest, and Michelle Waterson's got some cool karate. That's a karate, right? Yeah, that's it. Oh dang, how about this one? Could be either a crapshoot or it's going to be really good. But Uriah Hall versus Jacare Souza.
Yeah, that's another interesting matchup because both those, like, Jacare has some crazy submission. His jiu-jitsu is amazing, and
he's an arm triangle guy. He likes arm triangles.
Yeah. So, and Uriah is one of those fighters that he can go either way. It just depends which Uriah shows up. Like, if it's the one that showed up against Gegard where he just, like, spinning back kicked him and knocked him out like that, he'll probably take that fight. But if he comes in and it's a little shaky through the first round, Jacare will get him. He'll take him down, choke him out.
Exactly, yeah. I think it's weird. He either jump spinning back kicks a guy's head into the crowd, or he is afraid to pull the trigger. And I don't know why. Like, I mean, he could be. I always thought that Uriah Hall, after that knockout on The Ultimate Fighter, was going to be like, you know, Anderson Silva style, and he just was one of those guys that I always feel like is afraid to just, you know, let loose. You know, that being said, he's fighting some of the top guys in the world, so I'm not going to talk too much crap about him. But, you know, I just think he has a ton of potential still, even though being a little bit older. But yeah, if you let Jacare get a hold of you, I mean, you don't. If you're not like like top tier black belt, if he gets you down, it's probably over. It's just like going against Damian Maia. If he gets you down and he's on your back, it's probably close to shirtles. I got to rewatch that one with Ben Askren again because that one was sick too. I keep forgetting about fights. I got to go back and watch them. And then there's 3 more on the early prelims. Just like a ton of fights, really. Ryan Spann and Sam Alvey, Bryce Mitchell, Charles Rosa, and Vincente Luque versus Nico Price. So that's a lot of fights, man.
Nico Price, that guy's a fun fighter to watch. He's real powerful striker. Knocked a bunch of people out. I think it might have been him that had that up kick knockout. It was either him or it was him. He up kicked knockout that dude. He tried to.
James, I'm looking at it now. He up kick knocked out James Vick.
Yeah, he was trying to pass, but he didn't throw the legs far enough, and he just came up and blasted him right across his face.
Nice. And he's got some good fights. Like, looks like he's won and lost a couple of ones, but that'll be interesting. And then, like, I know. So, what was the deal? Is UFC supposed to put on like 1 million fights over the next couple of weeks? That's what I was trying to look up. I didn't see it.
Yeah, something like that. They've been posting like a ton of like old fights that you wouldn't get to see usually. Like I think they just put the entire UFC 1 up on YouTube.
Oh, really?
The other day, yeah.
Dang. Yeah, 250. It's not saying right now, but I know they said they're going to have a whole bunch of cards. What also is crazy to me is where are the guys? No one's supposed to be training. So how is everybody training for these fights? You know, Shevchenko versus Calderwood. That looks like UFC 250, but it's not saying.
That'll be a rough one for JoJo. Valentina is one of the best women fighters of all time. There's no question. Like she's so good at everything she does. Like she knocked out that one girl with the head kick. That one was crazy. And then she has like lightning quick arm bars too. She's good at everything.
Yeah, you don't see a lot of crazy head kick knockouts from the women's division just because they're so small. You know, same thing for the men's division. In the lower weights of the men's, you don't see a lot of head kick knockouts. These guys are small; they don't generate as much power. But the big guys, you know, you just land the shin near the guy's head and he's KO'd. I think she's going to be the champ in that division for a while unless someone comes flying up. I mean, a friend of me and JM's, Caitlin Chikagan, she fought her last time. And Kate, how did that match end? I don't even remember. She lost by decision, or
I know she lost. I don't remember how she lost. I'm gonna find that.
Caitlin's tough. I mean, I don't want to, say anything bad about Caitlin. She's #1 contender in the world in UFC. It's just, if she had, because she was in guard a lot, and she's got really long legs, but doesn't rubber guard. Now, me and JM have told her in the past, 9 years ago, to try rubber guard, and she was like, nah. So I don't think she's into it. She more trains with Danaher, and this is where Danaher should get his head out of his butt here and start teaching some rubber guard, because for MMA, in full guard, traditional guard doesn't work. She was just getting pounded on. If she could have, man, she could be a dead orchard person. She reminds me of, who, because JM used to spar with Caitlin when they were kids. She reminds me of Mia Bella,
Yeah.
Like how she's tall and long like that, or she could be tall and long for a kid anyways, So how did that match end?
Valentina finished her round 3 TKO.
Damn. Probably just was on top beating her up,
Yeah.
It's just she's so much stronger, and like Caitlin is more of a volume puncher and kicker. She's not like a hard, knockout puncher. So, she's hitting good, but every time she might hit Valentina 2 times, 3 times, and then Valentina hits her once, and it's just way harder. But the women's matches are insane. Me and JM last time we were in Cali, we watched how do you pronounce the Chinese girl's name? I forget how to even pronounce her name. The champion. She fought
Joanna?
Yes.
Zhang, I think her name is.
Lee. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude. She is a beast. That fight was crazy. And even Joanna, her head was like looking like an alien head, but that was one of the craziest fights I've ever seen. Grappling, takedowns. There was someone went for a leg lock. It was one of the most wireless fights there is. And I always say this, but the women's and the smaller weight divisions always have some of the most exciting fights because the people move a lot. Like we were saying with Rosenstruck and Ngannou, they might just stand around and stare at each other for a while. And then who knows? That was one of the worst fights I've ever seen. But what else have you been up to, man? I don't know. I'm kind of like, there's not. Usually we would have so much jiu-jitsu stuff to talk about, but since we haven't been doing it, there's not as much. Yeah, I don't know.
I just been training in the basement with my brother, just working on moves and stuff. Just trying to keep active. That's all we can do right now until we get back to training and stuff.
Yeah, have you seen the Instagram? Oh, yeah, you have seen that Instagram page, Kids BJJ Life.
I think I
haven't done any dirt on those guys and see where they're from, but they're buying all of our DVDs and videos and stuff. So they're cool. They look like there's some little kids doing heel hooks and stuff, and I saw some people were bagging on them. But as long as the dad understands what's going on, he's right there. That's fine. In class, there's too many kids for us, so I don't allow the kids to do leg locks, But I think it's fine, and, someone's paying attention. But some of the kids do. Rafer goes for leg locks.
Yeah, I'm just showing Rafer some of the stuff, because we've been doing some of the warm-ups, and I can't really skip over that, because it leads into other stuff. So I showed him, like the basic honey hole, heel hook, and then Ashi and stuff, and he knows that, and I know what's up, so he's just doing that on me. And I told him, you can't do that to the other kids because they don't know that, so it's not
exactly. So
dangerous too.
We have a rule you're allowed to go leg locks on someone who's bigger than you.
Yeah,
you can go after teenagers if you want. If you're Rafer's age, you're allowed to try to heel hook you and Sid and Grace if he wants to, but he can't heel hook any other kids, but only the older kids. That's how. But there's a lot of kids now on Instagram really flossing that have been buying our stuff, which is really cool too. And then someone also put up that we were one of the. They sent Andrew a message and they said they wanted to have their kids when the time come from Philly. I forget what school they train and come up train at our school, and they wanted to train at the world famous Planet Bethlehem school with the mini games. I was like, what? That's really cool. So people know about it. Same with is a big fan. My buddy Bill, his 2 sons. His oldest son, Bo, is like a big Gordon Ryan fan. I'm trying to talk him out of that. But he loves us, too. He always watches all the videos and stuff that we put online. So we're getting out there and, we're getting our name out there, which is really cool. And a lot of guys, you've been all over the place. You've been to Cali. You've been training. What other 10 planets have you gone to so far?
I've been to HQ. I've been to Springfield, Massachusetts. Nice. I've been to most of the ones up and down here, Newton and New York City, Long Island. I haven't been to Woodbridge yet, and I need to get up there because
Miami guys are that
cool dude. I like him. I was at Boulder in Colorado and Austin, Texas, and I think that's
cool. There's a lot of cool guys down there.
Awesome.
Yeah, they're dispersed. They're doing like garage training now, like Real Fight Club, where 4 dudes you go to this garage and train, other dudes have to go to a different garage and train. It's getting pretty crazy. But like I said, we've been sneaking in. I've seen you a couple of times, and we're going to keep doing that over the course of the next couple months, just until we get back up to normal. But yeah, man, thanks for coming on, bro. We'll do this again. This is the first video one. I hope everything worked and I didn't break anything. And recorded properly. It says it's recording up here in the left-hand corner, so we should be good. But you want to give any shout-outs or anything before we end it?
I run the 10p Mini Goons account on Instagram. Go follow that. We're like almost at 1,000 followers. I'm trying to put matches up and pictures of whatever, competitions, all sorts of that stuff. I got my Instagram too, Ginger Grappler 10p. That's just whatever I'm up to. Go follow that one if you want to.
Nice, yeah, definitely follow that. And a lot of you guys too, like about me, when I first started in JM, the same thing. When we first started in martial arts, we started as kids, grew up. But then once my first ever job, I worked at a place called Valley Farm Market. And it was a grocery store. But right before I started working there, my old sensei hired me $10 an hour to come in, and I would work with. I helped with the little kids class, and then anytime I would just be there, and I wouldn't even help with the class. And then if a kid started freaking out, because back in the day, karate would have 40 kids in the class, and if a kid started freaking out, I would take care of him. He'd be like, Zach, hey, can you take Charles to the back and get him a drink and give him some water, and then talk to him and have him break a board, and then I'd bring him back to class. So and then I started teaching the kids class, and then my sensei only ever wanted me to teach kids. And then when I got older and left, started doing my own thing, JM started running the kids class, and that's how he used to teach karate lessons kids for like $5 an hour or some insane stupid rate from back in the day. But that's how we started too. And then eventually, you go into training adults and the whole nine. So I think the kids class, and it's weird. You even said it before. A lot of the moves that I use are stuff that I teach a kids class all the time.
Yeah.
Not just besides the leg locks, but the other stuff too. So, yeah, man, I think you're on the right path of just following our footsteps and do even more and bigger things than me and JM have done, because, you're learning from us and learning from Thor and Grace, and you're really smart, and you do all the stuff. You don't really ever talk back to us, like, not that anyone does, but you listen to everything we say and like take it for granted and go, okay, I'm going to do this. And even the stuff that you made mistakes on, you fixed in the past. So, I know you're going to have a great career in martial arts or whatever you want to do, man. So the first podcast with Sid, is this your first ever podcast?
Yeah, it is.
Nice. That's it. We got you on Zach's Corner. So, all right, bro. Well, I'll probably see you this week at some point, but I'll text you and see what's up. But thanks for coming on. Definitely go out there and follow the Mini Goons, and then I'll have this up soon. But thanks, Sid. Appreciate it, bro. Tell the fam I said what up.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, hell yeah, bro. Talk to you soon, man. Peace.
Talk to you soon.
Thanks for listening, and thanks to our sponsor, Fuji Sports. If you guys don't know about Fuji, they've been in business in the jiu-jitsu, judo, martial arts business since the beginning of time. And they're our current sponsor. They sponsor Thor, they sponsor Grace, and they sponsor Finishers Enterprises. So if you've never checked out Fuji before, go to fujisports.com. They got all types of gear, gi, no gi, judo. They got lifestyle stuff. They got hoodies. They got stuff to clean the mats. And they also work great with BJJ Fanatics, which we actually have a DVD out right now. So if you go to bjjfanatics.com, search 10 Planet Jiu-Jitsu, or search Zach Maslany, JM Holland, and the 10 Planet Fundamentals come up. And you can buy a DVD and watch us teach some moves. So shout out to Fuji. Also, not to mention, if you're looking for mats and you want to make your school look great and you want to take your squad to the next level, then why are you training on puzzle mats, dog? What doing? Get those Fuji mats. Holler your boy. I'll hook you up with the right people, and we'll get you all set up. So whether you're looking for gear, mats, DVDs, moves, we got you covered. Fujisports.com, bjjfanatics.com. Shout out to your boy. This podcast is also brought to you guys by shopfinishers.com. That's pretty much where you can get all of our gear. You can get our Cruise Combat custom rash guards, the red one, Fire Red, the North Carolina Blue, or you can get the OD Green. We're about to drop some new shirts. That's your home for Finisher TV stuff. You can actually buy tickets on there to the Finishers 10. If you want, you can get, I'm going to be releasing a bucket hat real soon, but we got some top designers M85 Designs, Mike Mons. We got Sharkface Apparel. My boy Bryce throwing their stuff up. You can get 10p Allentown stuff. You can get 10p Miami stuff. You can get stickers. You can get 10p Miami flip-flops. We're going to be selling everything. So always check out shopfinishers.com. And that has all your needs. You can link to it from our website, too. If you go to finishersmma.com, you can just click on shop right there and get all the swag that you need. So shopfinisher.com. It's your boy.
Are you interested in starting your own podcast but have no idea what to do? Maybe you already have the equipment you think you'll need, but don't have the time or resources to produce the podcast yourself. Whether you're in the market for a producer to take over an existing show, or you want to start a whole new podcast, PRM Podcast Productions is for you. We do everything from helping you get your show started to editing, producing, uploading, managing, promoting, and much more. We offer various plans and levels of editing, as well as many additional options to choose from. We also offer voiceover and transcription services and can supply male, female, or kids voices for ads, promos, intros, outros, and more. If you want to know more or see our other shows we've produced, go to prmpodcastproductions.com or click on the link in the show notes. Anyone referred to us from Zach's Corner Podcast or from Finishers MMA will receive a 10% discount.